Hey everybody, this is Bonnie with Bonnie Bay Crochet, and welcome to Friday Fun Live. Let me scoot over here. I am broadcasting from the cleaned room today. So let me go ahead and check one thing here. Okay, is that a little bit better? I'm trying to adjust the light. Haven't done this before in this room. So those of you who are following me on Facebook and Instagram, I think you'll know that I've been very busy for the last week or so, trying to organize this room. So this has been the catch-all room, which had all kinds of stuff in it. And I also would record in here. And so I was able to plead with my family and say, can you please get your stuff out of here? And they did. And Shazam. So had the help of my son Hudson, and he put together the cabinets that you see behind me. Let me go ahead and turn. And I've got two more of them right here. It is a workroom. It's not a palace. It's not Martha Stewart does not live here. No, no slight against Martha Stewart, but she does not live here. I work here. So anyway, and that's the good news is I have some organization finally and room to do it. The not so good news is I've got another room across the hall that you usually see me broadcast from, and it needs some work. So I'm hoping that this room being organized better, I will be able to kind of even it out and have a lot of really great workspace. So thanks for following me now on that and your encouragement. Um, Before I jump in, I just wanted to wish everybody a very meaningful Memorial Day weekend. I know there are a lot of other activities that I'll talk about in a minute that go along with that, but we do want to, be sure to remember those who gave all so that we could have the freedom, or at least those of us who are probably able to watch the broadcast anyway, just reminded that not everybody lives in freedom and like we do in the United States. We're very thankful for that, but very much aware that that cost the blood of a lot of precious lives in order to achieve that and to maintain that. So this Memorial Day weekend, definitely take time to remember those who gave all so that we can live as we do. Okay. Okay, hold on a second. Hold on a second. I forgot to do something. I'm doing it now. All right. So just to let people know I'm busy and to not call. All right. All right. Well, let me go ahead and jump in and say hello to everybody. Lots of people in the chat today. Susan B, so good to see you in the chat. She says, hope everyone has a fun and safe weekend. Yes, ma'am. And Angie, good morning to you. And Miss Wanda, always good to see you in the chat. She says, praying everyone is doing well. That's a good prayer. Yep. And Candy, so glad you could join us. And you have a great weekend too. And Linda, Brat's mom, so good to see you in the chat, and glad you're going to be joining our class in June, which I'm going to tell you all about in just a bit. She's joining us from the Southwest Chicago suburbs. And Mrs. Debbie, good morning to you, and Alana. Yep, she says, hi, Bonnie, and all you great crochet folks. Yes, you guys really are great, and I think in the truest sense of the word, in a way that counts in here. So thank you for being such good folks, and hope all is well with you too, Alana. And Carol, good morning to you. She's joining us from Northern California. And Missy Rogers, she said, I'm looking forward to spending time with y'all this morning from Oxford, Pennsylvania. Well, you are so welcome to join us, Missy. And Hannah, so glad that you are there in our chat with us, keeping us safe, keeping it positive, and just doing what you do so well, sweetheart. And is it Lima? She says, hola, buenos dias. And let's see. Oh, we got a lot of comments loading. And Virginia. And let's see. And Amal, so glad to have you here. And M. Fish from Missouri. Welcome, welcome. And Cynthia from Michigan. And Lee Lima is from Rio de Janeiro. Wow, in Brazil. Welcome, welcome. That's so cool. Um, and Terry Redmond, so glad you could join us. She says, pray everyone is well. Thank God to have another day. Blessings to all. Yes, ma'am. As we get older and our bodies start to break down, each day is a gift. I was I have nothing to complain about this week. But I always find something. You know how that goes. Um, Back was starting to give me some twinges, and I'm like, no, you don't. No, you don't. Every time I think about getting outside and washing my car, my back starts to act a little bit weird. Let me bring this up a little bit. There we go. Um, Again, experimenting with a new setup. I may not stick with this setup, guys. I just wanted to show you the room. Not sure yet, but we'll see how it goes. And let's see, we have Kim joining us. Welcome, Kim, and Becky and Lynn. Always good to have you in the chat. And Jan. Um, Hope I'm not repeating myself here too much. And Lynn says, hello, Sister Bonnie, and everyone in the chat today. Hello to you, Lynn. So glad that you could join us. And Kathy G and Patricia from the UK. She says, have a great weekend. Blessings to all. Well, thank you. And Linda from Ohio. And Carol, she says, yes, we are blessed in the USA. Thank you to all who serves, served, and has family who serve for our freedoms. Amen to that. We especially remember those who who went off to battle and didn't come home for whatever reasons. Yeah, yeah, very, very special time on this past weekend. It's about more than just cooking hamburgers on the grill. So much more. But it's okay to cook hamburgers on the grill. Okay, it's good to get outside and celebrate and be with the ones we love. Yes. So and then Margita, hello to you, and Becky from Minnesota. And Illuminating One is in the chat. I like that name. Says, I finished the winter white throw, ready to block it now. And it's the most beautiful thing I've ever made. Yay. I'm so glad you're happy with that. I mean, obviously, I get comments from a lot of people who aren't happy with their work or with the design or whatnot. And it always blesses me when people are happy with it and can do it. Obviously, a lot of these designs that I write, not all, I mean, I do write some beginning designs that are designed for absolute beginners. But a lot of the ones that I do work on are for intermediate and some even advanced. Been fighting with one of those this week, actually. And there is a learning curve, and I think people don't realize that sometimes, and they think that I need to just do it like that. I've been crocheting 40 years, and I should just know how to do this on first try. You know, I've been playing. I've been doing a lot of things since I was a child. I've been playing music since I was a child. But believe me, when I get a hard piece of music, I can't just pick it up and play it like I'm at Carnegie Hall. Some are just beyond my reach. I mean, a lot of music is beyond my reach. Some music is not. Some music I can pick up and get it right away. Some I just have to work with it. And these designs, like the winter white, can be one of those where you just have to work with it and learn new stitches and be patient with yourself and give it some time. But I am so glad that worked out for you. Illuminating One. That is such a fun name. I like saying that. And Denisha, hello to you. So glad to have you in our chat with our group today. And Lynn, you are so sweet. You know how to make me smile, girl, with your comments. Well, anyway, I wanted to also just mention we are kind of race fans here. I mean, not over the board, over the top, but we've been following, we like to follow NASCAR, a little bit of Indy racing. And I also just wanted to mention, as a secondary feature of Memorial Day weekend, there's a really fun thing that if you guys are into NASCAR at all, you've probably heard the name Kyle Larson. And if you haven't, you should look him up because he's going to be doing something crazy this weekend. He's going to be, for the first time, racing in the Indy 500. First time he's raced in an Indy car, but he's a really versatile kind of guy, can just jump in and drive anything. I know this is a craft channel, but just hear me out. But anyway, we watched qualifying this past week, and he qualified in the 5th position. Okay, never having driven an Indy car, or at least not much, and first time driving one at Indianapolis 500. He qualified in 5th position. He's driving a car. It's sponsored by the Hendrick Motorsports. If you know NASCAR, they were Jeff Gordon's, Jimmy Johnson's sponsor. And I'm getting way deep in the weeds here, I know. But anyway, he's going to be driving the Indy 500, starting in the 5th position, which is huge. And then he is going to be, after that race is over, assuming everything goes well with him, he's going to be getting on a helicopter to an airplane and flying down to Charlotte, North Carolina, to drive in the Coca-Cola 600. So, which is a totally different car. It's a NASCAR, much bigger, heavier, slower. So it'll be interesting to see how he does this weekend. We're going to definitely be following that very closely. And if you're really into racing, even before those 2 races, there's Monaco happening, the road race. So it's like, you know, uh, a racing person's either nightmare or delight, depending on, just keeping up with all of this. Um, so thanks for being patient with me. We're a little bit geeky in that. And it's just so cool because one of our favorite drivers, we followed since he was just a kid, is Jeff Gordon. Of course, now he's retired, middle-aged. Doesn't make me feel very young to see that. But our kids grew up watching him, and he's kind of, side by side right there with Kyle Larson in all of this activity. So that's really been fun for us. And trying to think of I can't think of the name of the car. I know it's the Aero car. If you follow it, it's going to be blue, and it's blue and orange. Both cars are that color, and they're calling this the Hendrick 1100 or H1100 series. So anyway, getting back to the group chat here. That was just so much fun. I was going to wear my Jeff Gordon jacket for the broadcast, but honestly, it is so hot. It's so hot in here right now. And yeah, there's like no air in here. But anyway, it's very warm. I've got my short sleeve tops on and enjoying the weather. All right, Jan, so good to see you. She said, Bonnie, that's a hint. You're not supposed to wash your car. Yeah, maybe it really needs it though, guys. I can't put this car through the okay, I got that. I can't put my car through the car wash. I have to wash it by hand because it has a soft top. So it hasn't been washed. And when I'm not around, when I'm not in town, nobody else washes the car for whatever reason. So I need to do it. I'll get out there later today. Maybe it won't be so hot, and maybe my back will stop twinging a bit. And maybe I can pay my son to do it, or I can just ask him to do it. Thinking out loud here. All right. Well, Felicia, so glad you could join us. Excuse me. And Crystal, she says, sending a massive wave from Cornwall, UK. Waving right back at you, Crystal. And let's see, we got Patricia and Archer. So good to see you in the chat, Terry. As always, got you on my calendar for next Thursday, my dear. And Not Ye Old Crochet, Susanna, excuse me, joins us from Australia. Well, hello to you. And Jan, she says, with all the rain, I'm not washing my car today. It's supposed to rain. Yeah, it's been raining a lot here, Jan, but the thing is, the rain is not knocking the dirt off, and I need to do something. Even if it rains afterwards, it'll still look a lot better. And again, Terry, Hannah, thank you so much for being there. Terry says, hi, Hannah, you're rocking it. Keeping up with the chat. I hope you had a good week. Are you out of school for the summer? No, she just started in a new class, Terry. Another class, a hard one, actually. So you can pray for her. It's Anatomy and Physiology Part 1. So yeah, the drama continues. And Sabina, hello. She says, I'm making my cup of tea ready for our lovely Bonnie. You are perfect with my homemade lemon cake. Ooh, that sounds good. Send some over. And Daisy from New Mexico. Welcome, my dear. Got a lot more. See a lot more comments. Let me see if there's anything else. Let me go ahead and take a break from the saying hi. I wanted to tell you about a new design coming. It's in the back here. Let me see if you can see this. Can you see this? Let me go ahead and just take it off. I can do that without hurting it. Okay, here we go. All right. I wasn't sure how this would be viewed, but I am so excited about this. This is actually a collaboration design. Let me scoot back. A collaboration design with my daughter, Becky. And what this is, it's a nursing shawl, but it's not all just a nursing shawl. You can wear this anytime. Let me show you what it is. It's a stole with simply the arrow stitch and some low front ridges, and the rest is wattle stitch. And look at the drape in this fabric. I mean, this is 100%, I believe it's 100% bamboo. It's a Hobby Lobby yarn. I know I don't get to Hobby Lobby very often, but when I do, I love looking at their yarn. And so what I did is I folded this in half. This is the neck opening. It's an asymmetrical design. And there's just a little bit of design, a little bit here. I'm going to put this on for just a second, and then I'm going to take it off because it's so warm. But this is, come on, I threw it over the chair. So the idea with this is you can wear this as a stole anytime, anywhere. It's asymmetrical. And so you have, your arms are out and about. They're not impeded at all. And it's a nice covering in the front and the back. But if you are a nursing mom, it gives a lot of nice coverage. And the nice thing about it is you can move it from side to side so that you can, keep an eye on your little baby and take care and do what nursing moms need to do in a very modest way. Okay. And the nice thing about the particular yarn that I used with the bamboo, it's a very breathable yarn. It's it's kind of like cotton. In a lot of its properties, it's not going to heat you up or not exceedingly, not like acrylic will. This is, if you're going to make something like this for somebody, definitely think on the yarn you use, because if you make it out of 100% acrylic, it's going to be awful. And in fact, this morning, I'm going to go ahead and take this off now. But I just wanted to emphasize that this can be for a young mom, or you can make it for yourself and make it something that you can wear out and about. And you don't have to make it as long as I made mine. You can make it, shorter if you needed to. I mean, as far as the width goes. So, it's all up to you. But this is going to be coming on Monday to my YouTube channel. It's already up on the Watch channel. I was able to get that up last night. And the complimentary written pattern is right there waiting for you all too on the Watch channel. So you're welcome. I'm so glad to be able to do that for you all. But what I was saying about the type of fiber that you use for cover-ups like this, especially for if you're going to make it for a mommy cape or a mommy cover-up, is the yarn. Acrylic yarn can really, really heat your body temperature up. In fact, this morning I was getting ready to go live, and I had another top and that I was going to wear. And the yarn was 50-50. It was 50% cotton, 50% acrylic. And just that amount of acrylic on me personally was already, I was like, ugh, this is too hot. I can't do this. And then I put this one on instead, which is, and by the way, this is the Celtic braided sweater, but the summer version that's on my channel. I put this on. This is a bamboo with a little bit of cotton yarn in it, and it's totally different, not hot, and not nearly in the same way that the other sweater was. And the other sweaters are, it's a summer sweater, but it's just it's not for today for me here with the humidity, the way it's starting to pan out. All right. And while we're talking about the Watch channel, I have a brand new class. Well, let me go ahead. Old business with the Watch channel. The 3 ways to crochet braided cables. That live Zoom class has been uploaded. So if you missed that class, you can view it on the Watch channel now. And it's edited down just a bit so that you get most of the instruction, and I kind of edit some of the chit chat out. I mean, I love the chit chat, and that's part of our connecting with each other. But I just kind of scaled that back a little bit, so that when you watch, you get primarily the instruction. And June 20th. Okay, put this on your calendar if you're a watch subscriber. The class is already filling, guys. It's June 20th from 2 to 4 p.m. We have a guest teacher coming to teach on Zoom for the watch subscribers, and that is Jennifer Ryan of Celtic Knot Crochet. And she's going to teach us a class called Learn to Make an Easy Celtic. Let me try that again. Learn to make an easy Celtic keychain. It'll be easier than me speaking just now, I promise. And if you're interested in that, send me an email to bonniebay@me.com. But remember, you need to be a watch subscriber. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you can look in the video description. There's a link. The watch channel is a channel that's a pay channel. It's $7.95 a month or $79.50 a year. It's a savings if you sign up for the year. But if you just wanted to sign up for a month and check it out, and maybe it's not for you, you can get out of it as easily as you got into it. Um, but if you like it, you can stay. And we have a live Zoom classes, which are complimentary with the membership. And whenever I release new designs like the one I just showed you, you don't have to buy the pattern. The pattern is yours complimentary. It's kind of my thank you to you for being a subscriber. And yes, there are many other patterns there, PDFs that you can download. Not all, because I don't own everything from the past, but going forward, I do retain ownership. So I always want to put that stipulation in there, because someone will say, there's one on there and you don't have the pattern for it. And it's, well, because that's owned by Leisure Arts, or that's owned by Crochet World Magazine, or that's owned by Penguin Random House. So there are a few like that, but and those are mostly from the older days. But anyway, so if you haven't checked that out, you can just check that out. You don't have to sign up to look at the channel. You can go to the site watch.bonniebaycrochet.com, and then you can hit browse at the top of the screen. And then you can browse and see all the different designs that are there, and the classes. There are actually classes, designing classes on there, a little bit of behind the scenes. But and all of it is there for you to watch if you're a subscriber member, without commercials. There are no commercials. I don't spam you or any of that. It's just good old clean crochet, um, straight straight up crafting without any manipulation, I promise. Or at least that's my goal. Um, and some other classes, I'll go ahead and tell you about it and get the newsy stuff out of the way. The Pittsburgh Knit and Crochet and Quilt Creative Arts Festival registration is now open. The dates of this are August 22nd through the 24th. That's a Friday, Saturday, and a Sunday. And I'm only teaching 4 classes because I'm not teaching on Sunday. So I'm teaching 2 classes on Friday and 2 on Saturday. On Friday, I'm teaching Intro to Crocheting Post Cables. And I'm also teaching crocheting beautiful trims and borders. And you can look at the site to see some of the photos of some of the stitches that I'm going to be covering. And Saturday in the morning, I'm going to be releasing a new class, 4 ways to crochet the traditional granny square. And on Saturday afternoon, 3 ways to crochet braided cables, which if you're a watch subscriber, you've already seen that class, or you are actually the guinea pigs for the class. We'll be doing a 3-hour version of that in Pittsburgh. So yeah, that's the bulk of my news. And if you aren't signed up on my Bonnie Bay Crochet newsletter, you can go to my website, bonniebaycrochet.com, and you can sign up for that. It's free. I send it out every couple weeks or so. I try for every week, but that rarely happens. So you don't have to worry about, like 5 emails a day, or I don't have the time or the desire to do that. So, like I say, I'm not the spam queen. I just communicate with those who are interested, and kind of draw it there, because I am not a marketer. I am a crocheter and a teacher. All right. Let me back up here. All right. Oh, Carol, thank you for your kind word. She says, "Hand to Hannah, you are such a kind heart and support of those around you. Thank you." Yes, she is. She is. Thank you for encouraging my girl, Carol. And Hannah just sent me something from Carol. Says, "Would you make a recommendation for an alternate yarn to use for the directional scarf since the Nishi and Sonata Noro do not seem to be available?" Um, yeah, Carol, I'm sorry about that. When I bought it at a local yarn store, I thought it would be available, but apparently not. I would even I mean, it depends on the kind of yarn that you what kind of effect you want. If you're looking for self-striping yarn, I would just look at uh I'm trying to think. I would need to think on that. But that pattern, keep in mind, is also designed to be using yarn from your yarn stash. So you don't even have to stay within a certain size of the yarn. You can, change it up as long as, the gauge is correct. I'm looking over at my boxes here. Um, it it really that's more of a color dependent pattern. So I would just say feel free to use anything that you like. Um, I do like using the Noro yarn. That was actually the first project that I really used and enjoyed using the Noro yarn because it's a bit on the pricey side, for sure, but it's beautiful, if you find the right kind. I like their cotton, so you may want to look at some of their other cottons that are self-striping. You might have to look at their site or go to a yarn store and kind of do the touching test to see what fabric or type of fiber that you like. Um, I'm trying to think. There are some yarns- I was thinking of something like this. It's totally different, but this is a very long color change that would probably not work. Um, Here's some yarn that I just happen to have here that could work with some of this. I don't know if you have a Hobby Lobby, but the Yarn Bee cotton is very soft and nice. The color changes are not as dramatic though. So that's again, mm, that's a tough call. So yeah, I would just say may have to just experiment with that a bit, or email me and I could do some more thinking on that with you. I just feel so bad that the yarn is discontinued so much. And let's see. Oh, we have my crochet story in the chat. She says, "Howdy, howdy, Bonnie, and all in the chat." Well, howdy to you too. I'm so glad you could join us. And Virginia P says, "My daughter is like that." And gives some response to Carol. That isn't it wonderful? We are blessed, Virginia. If you have a daughter with such a heart, um, yeah, what a blessing. We are blessed. Um, And hi, Daisy. Good to have you around with us. Um, and let's see. And Virginia says, "I'm a big race fan. I love Kyle." Yeah, he's a really, really talented young driver. I say that he's a dad. He has a couple kids and everything too, but to me, they're just kids. But yeah, it's pretty nice. I really like the Hendrick teams. I think they really do things in an excellent way, and I just so appreciate that. I know that they get criticized a lot. This is a little bit of race talk. I know they get criticized a lot because they are so good. And people are like, "Oh, if I had a car like that, I could win races too." But, Mr. Hendrick didn't start out that way. He started out like everybody else with a lot of hard work. And I know some of the people like Chad, who was Jimmy Johnson's crew chief for 7 championships. Um, he started out working for Mr. Hendrick, sweeping the floor in the shop. He worked. He started out pushing a broom, and then worked his way up to being a crew chief. And yeah, I remember when they started that team. We were there. I got to visit Hendrick Motorsports in Charlotte. There, I got to visit their location when Jimmy Johnson's building was being constructed for his race team, and yeah, and then to see all that he's been able to do, and he's also retired. So, gee, don't I feel young? Oh my goodness, always young at heart, right? Anyhow, it's good to have another race fan in the chat who kind of understands and can put up with the talk. Um, Yeah, and let's see, Love to Craft, it's good to have you in the chat. Thank you for joining us. And Esther, good to have you in the chat too, saying hi. Esther and her husband Ron stopped by and visited us this weekend. It was such a joy to catch up with them and see how they're doing. And Felicia says, I collect NASCARs. Wow, I love Kyle. Wow, sweet. Got a lot of fans. So I know a lot of, I'm not going to be the only one sitting next to my husband watching these races all weekend, hook in hand, and maybe some knitting needles too. I've got a sweater I've got to continue working on. And let's see, Virginia R says, good morning, Sister Bonnie, and blessings and prayer to all who are going through trials from Southern California. Ooh, amen to that. That reminds me, I need to go get a book. I left my book in the other room. Um, I might just read something different today, but yes, 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 yes. And so good to see everybody in the chat. And Alana says our favorite driver was Dale Earnhardt. Oh, yeah. I don't know if you follow Dirty Mo Media on YouTube, Alana, but Dale Jr. has a chat there. We watch it pretty much when we're eating supper at night. I know we're pathetic, but it's always fun to see what's up with Dale Jr. and we just like following him too. But yeah, we were I can't say that I was a huge fan of Dale Earnhardt because that was a long time ago. But of course, everybody became fans, watching him race. But we were had the I don't know if it's kind of the unfortunate experience. We were watching the Daytona race when he hopefully went to be with the Lord. So yeah, there was a lot going on with that. But we really, really love following, we did enjoy following him. Um, but we had others who were, I guess, more favored in our minds. But it was always fun to watch him. He always made it very interesting. And yeah, we definitely miss him. And I miss seeing Junior out there racing too. He was a lot of fun to watch. Um, and Love to Craft says, we'll have to catch the replay later. I'm treating my high school graduate to a celebratory breakfast at little cafe nearby. Well, congratulations on your high school graduation. That is a huge success. Um, I wish you all the best going, your future and so forth. That is wonderful. Celebrate it all that you can. You made the better choice, Love to Craft, I promise you. Um, and there's Wanda Gordon. Um, all right, so I got a lot of comments. Do I have anything else to tell you? Okay, I think we're doing well on time, so I'll just stick with the chat for now. And Cecilia wants to know, is there a tutorial for the blanket on the rocking chair? Yes, there is. There is a tutorial for that. Let me see if I can look it up for you because I don't remember. I think it's the Starburst. I think it's Bonnie's Starburst throw. Give me a second here to do the trusty. Yep, Bonnie's Starburst throw. I actually remembered. All right, I just needed to get the chat, get the link. Okay, I just put the link in there for you in the chat. So sorry, Hannah, I just wasn't sure with of the names. Once you get like a few hundred designs out there, it's hard to remember the exact name. So all right. I'm going to back up here. Lots and lots of stuff that I'm missing. And Jody, I envy you, Jody. You get to be with your grandson. She says, hello, Bonnie, here in Ohio with my grandson, Beckham. He is crawling now and I have to be on my toes. I haven't gotten any crochet done so far today. Oh my goodness, what a blessing you get to be with that little guy, Jody. How sweet. Don't worry about the crochet. The crochet,
that'll wait for another day. Enjoy every minute because that little boy is not going to be crawling for long. He's going to be walking and running. Oh my goodness, what a blessing. Um, Yay. And Catherine says, I started on the cabled crochet sweater last week and I love how it is working up. Yay. And she's undoing the summer version. I am so glad that that is working. Remember to hold it up next to that shirt that is your favorite that fits you well so that it will fit in the end. And shoot, I will, even though I only have like this much, maybe this much, fabric, I'll take it off and try it on just to make sure that it's fitting me the way I want before I go forward. It's easy to adjust it if it's not. Um, all right. So I think I'm in where I need to be. All right. Oh, thank you, Virginia, for your encouragement. And Vima's Crochet says it's so beautiful. Love the color. Oh, thank you guys. I guess that's for this. I'm thinking for for the mommy's cape. Oh, thank you, Wanda and Lynn. Um, Yeah, and Hannah says to Jody, "Oh wow, that makes me think of my sister's little boy. He's crawling, and we have to keep an eye on him as well."
He both of my grandsons now. I see this over FaceTime, which I am so thankful for. Um, my son, Caleb, was on the other side of the room, and then just showed him the picture, and I was waving at him across the room, and he just scooted. It's more like an army crawl, but can get to where he wants to be. And both of the boys are kind of not 100% crawling, but they're like scooching, like fast, and it's amazing. Oh wow, Hannah tells me we have a viewer from Dublin, Ireland, who's watching for the first time. The Caroline Dune. Yay. Well, welcome, welcome, welcome. I love Dublin. I only got to go there once, but I want to go back. And I love your country. I want to go back again and probably bring 3 empty suitcases with me and then bring a bunch of sweaters back from the Aaron sweater market. It was such a wonderful time that I had with my husband there. Um, he was working. Actually, he was working in Dublin, and I just had nothing to do but to walk all over Dublin with my crochet backpack, of course. And I met so many people. And I love, love, love just the busking that goes on there. I think next time I'm going to bring my whistles and I'm going to join them if I don't get kicked out of the country for doing it. Oh, all right. And Linda Jones says, "What nice weather Maine is having this week." Um, oh, thank you, Jeannie. Jeannie says she likes my earrings. I figure since we're talking about Jennifer's Celtic knot crochet, I'd wear the Celtic knots today. Um, anyway, Linda says, "What nice weather Maine is having this week with these arthritis pains. I'm not happy with my doctor. It's been 6 years of needing knee replacements and no dates yet." Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that, Linda. I hope they can get that arranged soon. And Sabina says, "Perfect present for a friend of mine who's expecting her first baby in October. I can't wait. Yay." And I think you'll find this to be a very easy, straightforward design, Sabina. And Vima's Crochet says, "Amazing." Oh, thank you. You ladies are just so sweet. Um, and Linda, thank you so much. And yeah, thank you, Hannah, for encouraging Linda about that. And Linda Jones says, COVID is one of the reasons um, continued from my last chat. That's too bad. Yeah, I still have some numbness, from um, in my lip, but it's not from the vaccine. But it is what it is. But it made my COVID case much more mild than it probably would have been otherwise. But yeah, yeah, life has side effects. Uh, oh, thank you, Sabina. She says, "Your nails always look so pretty during tutorials. Do you do them yourself?" Yes, I do actually. Um, I'll show you what she's talking about. I mean, these are um, some of you may know of something called Color Street, and if you're interested, you can email me and I can pass on the information to you of the lady that I order mine from. But they're not cheap, but they're so much cheaper than getting I'm not trying to say a manicure. Um, I just don't have the time or the. I mean, I could maybe get them often, going for pedicures or manicures. And what am I having a trouble with that word? But it's a lot of money, and it's not that I can't afford it as much as if I'm going to spend that much money, I'd rather it be in a different place, like helping somebody or with yarn. And there's nothing wrong with getting manicures, but it just takes a lot of time out of my day, and it I just don't find it cost effective. But these are Color Street nail strips. You could just do a Google search on that, or if you want to email me. But the packs are not cheap, but what I've managed to do is, since my nails are not real long, I can get 2 separate wearings out of 1 pack. So that, yeah, it brings it down to about like $7, for like every 2 weeks, to maintain the nails. But I never used to do anything with my nails, guys. Even when I got married, I think I just had clear nail polish. I just was not really into all the frou-frou stuff. But then came recording my hands in high definition, and believe me, you don't wanna see what's under there because it's not pretty. You kinda, get a little bit, get over 60, and then, everything is more yellow, and it's just not real pretty. So the Color Street nails, what's really nice about these is I can put these on and I can be done in 15 minutes from start to finish. If I wanna put a coat of clear nail polish on top of them. I do that when I can, and that helps to preserve the integrity of the nail strips, which are made out of nail polish as well. But I really like the sparkly ones. They make me happy. I know I've heard some crocheters say, "Oh, you should only do neutral and blah 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 blah," and I'm like, that is so boring. And I'm I'm past the age of having to follow everybody else's rules, unless they're God's, which I try to do very well, by His grace only. But anyway, yeah, I don't follow everybody else's rules, with that. So, um, gee, got me off in the weeds here. But anyway, let me know if you're looking for a stylist, to order these from, because I know a couple of ladies who are working from home, and this is kind of their main source of income. And I would be glad to, pass your information along to them if you're interested. Boy, that all sounded like a commercial, and that's not intended to be. I don't get any kickbacks on anything on this. It's just I really enjoy the product. I really enjoy it. I have used regular nail polish a time or two, and it looks like a kindergartner did it. And so I just this is just a lot neater and cleaner. And since it's going to be in high definition, that's what I have opted to do. So thank you all for listening to my TED Talk today. um, all right. So, oh my goodness, Missy Rogers talking about the design says, I was watching at 4 a.m. this morning and it does seem really easy. I guess you couldn't sleep, Missy. I'm looking forward to making this one soon. Great. And Jet One In says, hello, Bonnie. Sorry I missed the beginning. Just catching up. That's a gorgeous top. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You're so sweet. And Denise, welcome to our chat. And my love of crochet says, absolutely love your nursery shawl. Such an amazing idea. And thank you for saying that, because I have to divert that comment to my daughter, Becky, who, being a nursing mom, was the one who was well aware of the need. We didn't have fancy things like that, at least that I recall when I was in that season of life. We would just use a flannel um, receiving blanket, which was probably not the best, especially if there was a strong wind blowing. Hello. So, yeah, I think this is a much more modest approach, and I just thank you for your encouragement. And I'm just going to divert that to my daughter Becky, um, and she's the one who kind of came up with the whole idea and everything, and I just contributed the stitch suggestions and implemented it. So it is definitely. Um, Anyway, definitely
definitely a collaboration. And there are going to be several more designs coming down the pike from Becky and me, and we're hoping to put them into a leaflet in the future. So we're going to trickle them out one at a time, but there will be a leaflet available on Amazon at some point in time. It's not even close yet, but it's something that we are working on. Thank you, Terry. She says, I appreciate your quality of content and how you execute it. Thank you so much, Terry. We have not achieved the level of perfection yet. We keep working that way. We keep working that direction. Every so often, if I start to get a little proud about that, I'll slip. And but just know, we know we're not perfect, but we do try. We are working hard to try to do things in the best possible way that we are able to. And sometimes that means human frailty shows. But hey, if you can figure out a way to escape that one, you let me know, and we will. I will follow your advice. Um, and Virginia, she says, "I'm sorry to sound illiterate. However, what is the Watch channel?" Oh, thank you, Virginia. I explained it earlier, but it's a separate platform. It's a paid platform, so it has a paywall between you and the material. But you can watch just about all of the videos that are here, plus additional exclusive content that doesn't appear on the public channel. Other classes, you can participate with Zoom classes when we offer them, which is about once a month, and other activities. We've done Zoom Hangouts. We haven't done that in a while because I'm doing the classes in lieu of that for now. But we have, again, PDF downloads that you can download, complimentary, um, and and there's some other benefits as well, but those are the big ones, and it's all ad free, commercial free. Nobody tracks what you're doing, so that if you look at something on the Watch channel, you're not going to see a bunch of advertisements for something similar somewhere else, like you would here. Sorry, or other places. But it's just kind of a way to pull away from being watched by the world online as well. And some people appreciate that. I certainly do. Um, and Chandra says, so bamboo yarn is cooler to use in summer. Yes, it's bamboo yarn, and other variations. Um, yeah, it is a breathable fabric, a breathable fiber. Um, yeah, think of cotton. It's a lot like cotton. It is a natural fiber, but it has been highly processed. So I know some people don't like that aspect of it. Um, I I love it. So I confess. Um, yes, it is cooler. It's drapier. As you can see, and this is folded over a couple times. I mean, lots and lots of drape. I mean, it's not the stiff acrylic fabric at all. Um, yeah, it's nice. But one thing I will say about bamboo, and in case you haven't worked with it before, bamboo is a lot like cotton, in this respect that I'm going to tell you about, and that is it tends to pull out over time. It doesn't have the bounce back, so that's why it's probably not the best. The reason that I can use the bamboo yarn to make a top, and it does have bounce back, and that's because it has something called PBT, which is like I'm going to use a branded name. It's like a spandex type material, with the bamboo that helps it to bounce back. So that's why you can do it with this. This is not that kind of bamboo. This is just straight up bamboo, bamboo rayon maybe, but there's no bounce back to this at all. Over time, that garments made with this kind of regular bamboo without the spandex element to it, it will pull out over time. And I don't mean pull out as in rip out. What I mean is it will just get longer. It will elongate. Now, for something like a top with a stole or a poncho like this, that is not a problem. Not a problem at all. It's just going to look more, it's not going to like elongate by a foot or something. It might be a couple inches over a long period of time. But just keep in mind that it will stretch out a little bit. So yeah, yarn is yarn is amazing. It's it's fabulous how we have so many different types. Um, and they all have such different purposes. And if you're new to the channel and you want to learn more about yarn, definitely check out. I have a video on, I think, my top 10 yarns, or some title similar to that. You can look, hit the videos and look through for that if you want, or just put yarn, top 10 yarn or best yarn or whatever in the search bar. And I do talk about my top 10, but I don't list them in a, the best to the worst or the worst to the best in the order, because I can't do that. The purpose of what you're making uh, will determine the type of yarn for that given scenario, if that makes sense. So, and I do explain a lot more in detail about different yarns and, why I select them for different things. And sometimes I just want to play with a new yarn and just see how it is. And I do that quite a bit too. And I've met some great indie yarn dyers doing that. Oh, thank you, Denise. Talking about the watch channel, she said, it's definitely a must. The tutorials provided are a must. Thank you, Denise, for your kind support. And Jet One In says, I'm joining that watch channel today. I keep meaning to forget, but forget. Yeah. Um, and if you do, and if you're interested in the class, like I mentioned earlier with Jennifer Ryan, send me an email. Let me clarify. In the past, after the last class, I think I did say publicly that I'm not going to ask you to send in the email. I'm just going to post it on the Watch channel, post the link. But because we're only doing one class and not two sessions of this class, I had to kind of back up on that one and just say, yeah, I really do need you to contact me, because I don't want Jennifer to show up with like 50 people on Zoom, because that's just not going to work. We're going to probably cut it off at about 25. That will probably be the max for this class. And we've already got about 8 signed up. So if it's something that you've wanted to do, to learn the Celtic knot, it's going to be a simpler Celtic knot. Um, but if that's something you want to do, you're going to try to email me sooner rather than later, because I'm going to have to cut it off at 25. Okay. And I may have to just keep a wait list if we do fill the class. A lot of times these classes don't fill. That's the secret. So, there's plenty of room for people to join and to become a part of this. But anyway, just wanted to throw that out there. Just if you do join, send me an email ASAP so that I get you on the list before it closes. Um, and I did, just for the record, I did notify all the watch members last night. So they got the first notification. They all know that it's coming. All right. And DL Crisp says, yes, I love the mommy's cape. I have a brand new baby granddaughter. Congratulations. Her mommy is breastfeeding, so I need to get busy. Congratulations. That is so wonderful. Um, Such a gift from God. Um, Thank you, Hannah, for sending her that link on that top. And yeah, thank you, thank you. Um, all right, we answered Carol's question, or at least I tried. I kind of did, but didn't. um, all right. Da, 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 da. And I already sent the link. Hey, Sandra from Southern Cal, great to have you with us. Um, and let's see. Yeah, I sent the link in for Cecilia. Thanks for asking about that. And hey, Jeannie, it's so good to see you in the chat, girl. Uh, and Denise says, my best knitting has been during NASCAR. The faster they drive, the faster I knit. I have to be careful when I knit, watching NASCAR. I was actually doing that this past Sunday, and I dropped a couple stitches. I was able to retrieve them, but it was like, I had to back up and, unknit a bunch. I did that like 3 different times. So I eventually I just put it down. I said, forget it. I'm just gonna watch the race. Yeah, I mean, anyway, and it's one of these where I'm working with 4 different colors at the same time, so it was not my first choice to drop stitches. Um, Oh, sweet. Yeah, Caroline, if you would like to learn more about the Celtic Knot class with Jennifer Ryan, you can email me. This is for watch subscribers only. But if you're looking for, she says, okay, we are due a new grandbaby in September, and I'd like to make a special blanket for him or her. I tell you what, Hannah, could you put the playlist? If you go to my homepage and look under the playlist, there's a list of Celtic crochet baby blankets. You can look at that list. There are some there that where you have to buy the pattern, but there are a couple there that are free as well. So what you can do is look through that playlist and see what you have that might be suitable. I a lot of what I do, Caroline, just to let you know, is inspired by the first trip that I ever took. Well, I was very interested in Celtic Aran style crochet before I went to Ireland, which is why I was so amazed that I got to go there. But but that trip in 2012 is what led me to write my first full-size book, Contemporary Celtic Crochet. And you can see, if you get a chance to look at some of that, I all those pictures taken of your country I took on my first trip. I just really pushed hard with the publishers, like, I really, really need to have these pictures in here. And they're like, what's the big deal? And I'm like, this is the inspiration of what I'm doing. And I want these pictures to be there. And so anyway, I hope you can get a copy of that and take a look. Um, all right. I'm so glad, Caroline, that you're able to join us today. The Caroline Dune. I guess I'm calling you Caroline. I hope that's okay. Oh, and Beatrice. Oh my goodness. She says, hello, good evening. I am joining from Kenya. Oh my goodness. Beatrice, thank you so much for being here. Okay, I'll find it, Hannah. Hold on a second. Give me a second, guys. Let me look this up. Playlist. Do 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 do. Okay, here we go. Okay. I'm gonna say Aaron baby blankets. I'll put the link in right there so you can take a look at that. Like Dawn. Okay, thank you. Done. Done. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Hannah. So it's done. Caroline Dunn. Okay, great. Thanks for clarifying that. Um, okay, and if you're looking for my books, you can look in the video description. There is a link for my crochet books. They're available on Amazon, but the link that I have down there is Amazon. You may have to look and see if you can get them in Ireland. You'd have to look online. I think there, if you can look up. I don't know if Ireland gets deliveries from the UK Amazon or not. I don't know how that works. Okay, and Katie White wants to know, where can I find the two weight or finger weight for the top you're wearing? Okay, the specific yarn that I used for this is called Universal Pop Sock yarn. It's Universal Yarns, that's the company. You can look it up, Universal Yarns, and then look for their um, pop sock, or it's called bamboo pop sock. If you go to the video for this, there will be a link in the video description of this video for where you can get this particular yarn. It's actually a number one. It's a fingering weight. Um, it's hard to get the lighter weight yarns in the big box stores like Michael's, Joann's, places like that. Uh, so I would recommend maybe looking for a yarn boutique in your area, or you can look online, or you can just email me and we can, dialogue about that. I know some areas are better supplied than others. So it's the Caroline Dunn. I'll try to remember that. I was just applying English pronunciation rules, which yeah, don't always work on foreign words. So thank you. I probably should have known that one though, but anyway. And all right. Thank you, Hannah. You've sent me a lot of the questions, so that's good. And is it Nellie says, God bless everyone and thank Bonnie for all you do. Oh, thank you, Nellie. That is so kind of you. Um, and Terry Redmond says, I like your starburst throw. I made one 5 years ago in shades of green. It was fun to make. Wow, that is really kind. Thank you, Terry. Yeah, wow. Yeah, greens. This is probably a newer one then, because yeah, this I don't know that this one's quite 5 years old yet, but um, oh, thank you, Nellie, for your kind comments. And hey, Brenda, good to have you in the chat. She says, "Your nails are so lovely." Oh, thank you, sister. uh, she must have been on must be on lunch break. Maybe she probably just had to go back. And again, thank you guys for all your encouragement. Goodness gracious, I'm so blessed. Um, and Linda Jones says, "Bamboo yarn makes wonderful turbo for your hair or head wraps too in summer." Wow, very cool. Um, and Terry said she had to go off to PT, physical therapy. May everyone have a happy and blessed Memorial Day. Remember, m- many have made sacrifices for our freedom. Praise God, be safe. Yes, they have. Yes, they have. Um, all right. So, and Hannah's sending me another. She says, funny story. I started a basket weave blanket and made it too long for the purpose of a shoulder wrap. So I had to start a new one. I'm seeing basket weave in my sleep. I'm so sorry, Carol. But as one who has dreamed, yes, I dream in crochet patterns. Not all the time. Occasionally, if I'm really stumped on something, it happens. And believe it or not, I have fixed crochet problems in my dreams. I am not kidding you. And I know that sounds really weird, but yeah, I have gone to bed at night wondering how in the world am I going to resolve this such and such a situation in a design and wake up and toss and turn and wake up with the answer. Yeah, I don't know if that's a gift or a curse, but yes. Ah, yes, 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 yes. And I have to tell you, I won't go into all that. I had quite a week this past week. I've been wrestling with the pattern, which I'm going to let you all know. Do you remember a red sweater that I showed you that I said, oh, this will probably be out by April? Well, April is going to be more like August, and I think it'll be a better time to release. But I am going to be releasing the Colossae cabled cardigan. And I've had so many ups and downs with this. I love the design. I think the design is going to go off without a hitch. But I tell you what, editing my video this past week has taken me a solid week to get. It's a 3 video series. I cannot tell you how many times I've emailed my husband just in absolute frustration. It's just like, I'm losing it. And I finally had to do a lot of voiceover to make sure that the pattern is correct and everything. So the videos as of yesterday have been completed. They're not even nowhere near ready for release yet, but because I need to pour over them with I need to edit them. My editor needs to look at them. My sister needs to edit the closed captions. We need to do a lot of work, and I need to do the writing and the sizing. But it is coming, just to let you know. I wasn't trying to mislead anybody. It's coming. It's going to be fun when it's released, but it's going to be more like August. And just to let you know, there's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears in it. I was tempted to call it the sweater from down below, but it's even the right color being red. So I'm like, ah, but I'm not going to call it that. It's going to be called the Colossae cabled cardigan, and it will be on the way very soon. Ah, Jen Snow, so glad you could join us. She says, apologize for missing most of the podcast, having some severe weather here in Illinois. Prayers for all of those in need. Oh my goodness. I hope the weather doesn't do too much harm. Um, Denise says, my favorite is the Afghan with the baby feet. Yeah, I like doing that one. That was a hair puller for designing, but I really enjoyed that one. All right. Hey, Sandra, glad you could join us. I do need to probably mosey on. Oh, thank you, Nellie. She said, "I just ordered 3 of your books on your website." Well, thank you. I hope it took you to the right place. Um, all right, well, let me read something. I left my book in the other room, but I do remember the passage that I wanted to that it was based upon, and it's probably better to just read that. Okay. Um, was trying to come up with something that would really encourage you all today. I like to end the broadcast for those of you who are new. I like to end with something encouraging, something uplifting, something otherworldly in a good way, as in, centered on a Christian worldview, which is where we function anyway here at Bonnie Bay Crochet, or try to by the grace that he's given us. And so I ran across these verses. It was referenced by a passage I read um, by Spurgeon, C.H. Spurgeon, who's a 19th century preacher who is probably one of my favorite theologians to read. But this comes from from Jesus's words, and I hope this encourages all of you out there. This comes from Luke chapter 12, starting with verse 22, and it's about being anxious. There's certainly a lot out there in the world that could tempt us to just, you know lose it, to be discouraged, what have you. um, I'm just going to read the words of Jesus. It says, "And he said to his disciples," starting with verse 22, "Therefore I tell you, do not be anxious about your life, what you will eat, nor about your body, what you will put on. For life is more than food, and the body more than clothing. Consider the ravens. They neither sow nor reap. They have neither storehouse nor barn, and yet God feeds them. Of how much more value are you than the birds? And which of you, by being anxious, can add a single hour to his span of life? If then you are not able to do as small a thing as that, why are you anxious about the rest?" Guilty. "Consider the lilies, how they grow. They neither toil nor spin. Yet I tell you, even Solomon in all his glory was not arrayed like one of these. But if God so clothes the grass, which is alive in the field today and thrown into the oven, how much more will he clothe you, O you of little faith? And do not seek what you are to eat and what you are to drink, nor be worried. For all the nations of the world seek after these things, and your Father knows that you need them. Instead, seek his kingdom, and these things will be added to you." And that's reading through verse 31, Luke 12:22 through 31. So I hope that's encouraging to you. I know I need to hear that. It's so easy to get distracted by things that just don't matter. Well, I hope you guys have a wonderful Memorial Day weekend and a wonderful, safe week. And I look forward to seeing you next Friday. God bless. Bye bye.